Hello flower pots, hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be watching me from. It's Sunday and it's time for me to service you. And hopefully, if you are spending Valentine's Day on your own like me, maybe you'll serve yourself after. So where are you watching me from? Happy Valentine's Day to all my gorgeous flower pots. Can you see me? I am here. It is Sunday. It's time for me to service you. I'm having to read the Dear Auntie Nellies on the laptop instead of on my phone because I had a bit of a technology nightmare this morning. That's all I'm going to say. Hello, Michelle Headley. Welcome. Good afternoon in Plymouth in Devon, Sophie Cannon. How are we? See lots of lovely flower pots joining and that's grand. I've had a great time this morning on Snapchat. Mum likes the Snapchat, you know, the one with the little monkey on your shoulder. So I sent her a happy Valentine's Day with the monkey sat on my shoulder and she was killing herself laughing. She got me a cupcake for Valentine's Day that says Happy Valentine's Day. It's in a box somewhere. And Olivia sent me some flowers through the post yesterday, letterbox bouquet. So that was lovely. I am absolutely knackered. Can you see I've got red eyes? Oh, look how my glasses have Anyway, yes, Jade says I'm watching from Rotherham. Happy Valentine's Day, Jade. Happy Valentine's Day to Lisa Gardner in Preston. Let me know where you're watching me from. Give me a like, give me a love, give me a share. Good morning, Mr. Tickle. And good morning, Emily. So yes, well, is it morning still? I'm guessing. I've been talking for a full 2 minutes, so it's probably afternoon. So yes, Peter Mesce, buon San Valentino. So yes, if you are Italian or no Italian, buon San Valentino means Happy Valentine's Day in Italian. So it's Valentine's Day, what are you doing today? Are you having an extra special Sunday roast? I know that I get followers and viewers from all around the world, so let me know what you're going to do with your Valentine's Day, who you're spending it with, or let me know what you've done with your Valentine's Day. So, you know, fingers crossed, it doesn't matter that you haven't got a Valentine's in your life, it really doesn't matter. You've got yourself and love yourself first, because if you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else, can you? And I'll be loving myself a little bit later. Anyway, enough on that. So things are going a lot more smoothly now with the messages. So I'm retrieving the Sunday services, I'm retrieving the night time with Nellies, and everything's going a little bit more according to plan. So yeah, we're quite happy in the Brolini household today. Watching from Leighton Buzzard, says Lynn Jones. Good afternoon from Southampton, says Kay Simone. You can't go any further, can you, than Southampton, because you fall into sea. I've not visited Southampton, but I'd like to. So there we go, I'm on my Barocca and my vitamins. Have you been writing into the page though? If you want a nighttime in Ellie or a Sunday service, keep writing into the page. Only because if you don't, I won't get your messages, and if I don't get any messages into the page, there will be no nighttime in Ellie and there will be no Sunday service. If anybody comments on your comments on this live with prize, giveaway, you've won something, competition, it's a fake, get them reported, do not rise to it. It's sad that I have to say that every time I go live, but there's that many scammers jumping onto my flower pots comments, making them believe they've won something they haven't. Sunday service, agony aunt show, don't know what I'm going to read till I read it. And that's the fun of the show. So we don't know what the questions are going to be, the problems, but I always find a problem shared is a problem solved, and we solve them together. Any advice I do give is purely for entertainment purposes. I am not a professional in anything. And if you watch my Instagram stories this morning, I've not even got the power of speech this morning. All my words are jumbled up, but that's because I'm extremely exhausted. I've not been sleeping, and somebody who's a stroke survivor, where are you? Oh, you're there? It's all going wrong already. Somebody who's a stroke survivor, when they get extremely tired and they don't sleep for a while, they can't speak properly. I start jumbling my words or slurring my words. So if that does happen, do not panic. It's just because I'm right tired. So shall we get going? I think we should. I absolutely think we should. Without further ado, let's start with our very first Sunday service. Dear Auntie Nelly, my daughter's husband died of COVID-19. I do apologise, I'm so sorry, sending love and condolences. He died at the end of last year. He was 44 and we have tried to be there for our daughter and grandchildren. When our son-in-law died, we told our daughter if she wanted friends at the funeral instead of us, we'd understand. As there are only allowed 30 people and he was so young and he had many friends. Instead of saying thank you, she screamed at me saying I had always been a shit parent anyway and was never there for her. We chose not to attend the funeral and have not spoken since. It's heartbreaking. I know she needs time to grieve, but I really need to see my daughter and make sure she's okay. Have you any advice? So your daughter's husband was 44 and he passed away with COVID-19, and rather than saying I want to be there for my daughter and my grandchildren, it's all about actions, isn't it? It's all about actions, and your actions don't speak as you were there for her. I can understand what you're saying, that he was a young man and you'd rather have took a back seat and let his friends go to the funeral, but you should have been at that funeral for your daughter. For your daughter. You bring your kids into the world and you never ever stop being a parent. As much as we can have hard things happen in our life and we can have bad days at work or whatever, you never ever stop parenting. And we do make mistakes and we do have parent guilt. I've been speaking to one of my best friends this morning about that. You haven't been there for your daughter. I don't know what kind of parent you've been and why your daughter felt that she needed to scream at you and say, you know, you've never been there for me anyway. Sounds to me like, you know, you do get angry and grief and you do take it out on them close to you. Sounds to me like there's a lot of hidden problems there that your daughter hasn't quite forgiven you for. Maybe you haven't been there for in other situations, and the one time she did want you there, you're saying, I'll not bother coming if you don't want. I'm afraid that where you're saying is, you know, it's heartbreaking, I know she needs time to grieve. Yes, she does need time to grieve, and I can't imagine what she's going through. But you taking a back seat and not knocking on her door and not ringing up and not making your presence known is not going to help this relationship at all. You need to be there. You need to be there for your daughter and your grandchildren, however you can, in a safe way. Go and knock on that fucking door. Don't watch this show. Don't write into me. Go and knock on that door. I couldn't give a shit about who wants to go to the funeral, who can't go to the funeral, you know, anything like that. I don't give a flying fuck. Go and knock on your baby girl's door and see how she is. It's all right speaking to people on phone. It's all right sending the odd text message. You need to see her face. You need to see the pain in that face. You need to be with your daughter now, not after. You need to be with your daughter. Your daughter needs to know that you're there for her. This could be a time where you actually step up and show her that, yeah, you might have been a shit parent in past, I don't know, but you need to be there for her now. I don't care whether your daughter is 38, 27, 106. When you're a parent, you're always the parent, you're always the adult in a parenting role. So even when your kids are like me, 47 in March, my mum will always be the parent to me. So be the parent, you know, pull up them pants, big brave pill, and go and knock on that fucking door and tell your daughter, listen, I'm here for you, you're my baby girl, and I may have said we won't bother coming to the funeral. We didn't mean it because we didn't want to come to the funeral, but I thought maybe that you know, your husband who's passed away, maybe I thought that, you know, there were other people that could have been there with you, supporting you, or paying the respects or saying the goodbyes. So there we go. You know, I've just seen a very small comment on here and I really don't know who's put it, but let me just say something now. Somebody just put COVID is a lie. And if admin is watching, can you please block and ban and remove that person? Because I'm telling you now, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's got a right to their own opinion. I'd like to think we live in a world where we've got free speech. Please do not come on here telling me COVID is a lie when my best friend has buried her sister, her baby sister, and I still can't wrap my arms around my best friend. So do not come onto my platform with such negativity. Keep your opinions to yourself. You don't know how many people are sat here breaking their fucking heart because they've lost somebody to COVID. How dare you? Shame on you. Fuck off my page. You will be getting reported, you will be getting blocked, and you will be getting banned. Keep your opinions to yourself. Whether you think it's fact or lie, keep it to yourself. There's so many people at the moment that are losing loved ones, losing the homes, losing the jobs, having to queue up at food banks. What, for a fucking lie? Fuck off. Fuck off. Enough said. Let's move on. Dear Auntie Nelly, I need some advice. My dad, I haven't seen or heard for him for almost 4 years. Since I was pregnant with my son. I have just recently been told that he's been asking my brother questions about me. How can he do this after 4 years of never meeting his own grandson? I don't even know what I've done wrong, thank you. Now I do know that I always say, please don't write in War and Peace, because I don't want to read out War and Peace. But you've not really said much. So you were expecting with your little boy, you've had your little boy, congratulations, but you've had no contact with your dad in almost 4 years, but all of a sudden he's chirping up and asking your brother how you are. Once again, when you're a parent, you've got to be a parent, okay, and you've got to step in. So asking your brother how you are is not getting a true picture of how you are. So your dad is not fulfilling his parenting role here, not at all. Rather than sat here writing into Auntie Nelly and worrying about it and asking your brother exactly what did he say, how did he say it, what were he wearing, you know, what made him talk about me, why don't you contact your dad as the adult that you are? Not because you're reaching out as a daughter to your father, but you want to say, listen, I believe you've been asking questions, why don't you ask me? And just get it out in the open and put that to bed should you need to. Make peace with it, because this is going to go over and over in your head. It's just going to ruminate and ruminate. So you're going to end up sort of like tying yourself up in knots over this. So please don't do that for starters. Contact your dad and say, listen, you've been asking questions. How can I help you? Let him come to you. I don't know what's happened. Like I said, I don't like War and Peace, but I also have got 2 sentences, so I'm not quite sure what's happening there. But maybe your dad does want to reach out, and maybe he was asking your brother how you were to see if it was a good time to reach out. Once again, before you do that, actually ask yourself, do you want your father in your life? Do you want to open up that can of worms? Do you want to open up that line of communication? Is it something you feel comfortable with doing? And if so, then yeah, reach out, be the bigger person and see what he wants to know and just answer him honestly. When relationships break down with parents and children, regardless of ages, I always say that, you know, you've got to look at both sides of the coin. This could be wonderful and you can mend your relationship and live forever happily. Or, you could be bringing up a lot of things from the past. It might cause you a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. It might be things that you talk about which are quite triggering. So be careful. If you're really not interested and you think, I'm not fucking interested, listen, brother, don't bother telling me. Tell him I'm absolutely fine. Then stand by that and move on from it. Okay. I keep picking my phone up, but my things are actually on the laptop today because my emailing's all gone wrong. Okay, Sunday service. Dear Auntie Nelly, I am in a long distance relationship. Anonymous, please, because we both watch your show. Okay, I've been with him for 3 years now, and we always video call every day, but we hardly talk. We just sit doing our own thing. I just wish we would talk more, and I don't know what to do. How can we spend time together being far apart? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Love from your loving flower pot. Hang on a minute, are you going off FaceTime and just like putting him down and then you're going off making your tea, having a shower, watching telly? We video call every day but we hardly talk. What are you doing on video call then? Fucking sign language? What yonway? You don't know how to talk? Just talk to him. I wish we would talk more. Talk to him. Pick the phone up, do the FaceTime and speak to him, say how's your day been, what you on with, what you doing, what you having for your tea. Talk to him. I don't really understand what the issue is here. And you've been in a long distance relationship for 3 years. 3 years? I mean, have you even spoke about the next step, the next level? Sounds to me like you've got yourself a fucking pen pal or a video pal. I mean, how can that be fulfilling your needs emotionally? I'm all for a long distance relationship if that's who you fall in love with. What's it matter whether you're on the map? But you've got to make the effort. You've got to put in the effort. And if you're not sure how to talk to this person, is this person even the right person for you? Are they even the right person for you? What are you fucking doing? Has it just become habit? Do you just talk to each other every day or not even talk to each other every day on video? Because that's what you do, like when you go to the toilet or like when it's dinner time or like when EastEnders is on. Is it just part of your daily routine? Because it sounds to me like it's boring as fuck. Absolutely boring as fuck. I mean, I've been in relationships where we've done FaceTime and we've watched a video together on FaceTime. There's other stuff we've done on FaceTime. But, you know, that's only been now and again or because of certain situations. So I can appreciate that you're in a long distance relationship. I appreciate that you're trying to keep up as much communication as possible. But if you're not communicating, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Nobody has got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So it's a case of either start communicating in a way that you would with somebody who you want to be intimate with. Otherwise, you might as well just ring next door neighbour or your mother. Do you know what I mean? What have you got that is saying that you're in an intimate relationship together? What have you got? And if you haven't, then it's just a pen pal flower and get yourself somebody who will start opening up to you, talking to you, communicating with you and feeling much better about yourself, enhancing your life. You know, because it sounds to me like it's fucking boring as fuck. Boring as fuck. I mean, I was Zoom dating. You know, I was meeting people online or whatever, and I can see little Antonio Frappola is saying, Auntie Nelly, what other stuff did you do on FaceTime? Well, let's just say that it involved being naked and using digits and not the digits on the phone. Anyway, and today is Valentine's Day, and as I have said, you know, I will be loving myself later. Absolutely. I might even go wild and give myself a little Kit Kat. Okay, so if you're not, whether you're in a long distance relationship or you live next door or down road, whatever, if you're not getting what you want from the relationship, then get out of it. Simple as. Moving on. Dear Antonelli, I am considering moving because of my neighbours. I don't hate them, they are quite nice, but they're just so noisy. The kids are screaming all the time and waking us up at all hours, and they're always knocking on, asking to borrow something. I just need peace and quiet, but keep telling myself that it isn't guaranteed anywhere unless we move into the middle of nowhere on our own. What can we do? Thank you. Well, that's true, isn't it? Because you might have noisy neighbours, you might have who knock on for a bag of sugar now and again, but fuck me pink, there's good and bad everywhere, and you might move somewhere, and you might move to worst family in the world, that they're not just noisy, but they're screaming, shouting, they're breaking things, they don't like you. You've just said they are really nice. Yeah, they've got kids that are probably running up and downstairs at all fucking hours and screaming and can I have my football back, or my mum says can she borrow a bit of coffee, whatever it means. But what is wrong with that? What is wrong with knocking on your neighbour's door and asking for help should you need it? Good God, you might fucking want it one day. You might need that neighbour to open the door and help you. Do you not think it's like better the devil you know here? I don't really see the issue unless you have won the lottery and you can move into the middle of fucking nowhere and live remotely and have nobody around you, and that's peace and quiet. But is that really what you want to do? Is that what you want to do? God help you if you do need a neighbourly help one day and you haven't got it and you've got to travel 30 miles to fucking next village for a pint of milk. You know, I know you want the peace and quiet, so why don't you find the peace and quiet within your own home? I'm sure these kids sleep at some point. They won't be there forever. They will move on and live their happy lives and probably say, oh, I used to live next door to you. I'm a doctor now in London or whatever. unless you're really unhappy with your home or you want to move somewhere smaller or bigger, or want to relocate somewhere, then I wouldn't let your neighbours put you off where you're living. It just sounds to me like, it's a little bit of a happy household, as I say, because when people say, I'll say, oh, she's a lovely little girl, is she good? And they'll say, no, she's really naughty, or so it shows she's healthy. So, kids are mischievous, they are noisy, it just shows they're happy and healthy. I'm not saying, immerse yourself in that noise, but do something that you find, like have a long hot bath, and if it's a bit noisy you can hear the kids, turn your telly up, put some loud music on, put some earplugs in, light a candle, shut your curtains, get triple glazing if you've only got fucking double glazing. That'd be a lot cheaper than moving, you'd think. So, I don't think this is really an issue in the sense of where you need Antonelli's advice. You just need to fucking calm the fuck down and think yourself looking what you've got. And don't be annoyed when your neighbour knocks on your door. You've either got it or you haven't. No, sorry, tell your mum I haven't got any tea bags. And if she goes and gets some, will she get me a packet? Or I'm going shopping this afternoon. I ain't got any myself. I'll pick up some for your mum. Let me know if she needs out else. You never know when you're going to need your neighbours. And you might not live in each other's pockets, but they're your neighbours at the end of the day, aren't they? You know what I mean? And it's all about love thy neighbour. Yeah? I'd be lost without our Roy next door, tall Roy. All 6'8" of him. I'd absolutely be lost without him. He's been an absolutely fucking fantastic neighbour. And I've lived on my street now for 21 years. And 21 years I've lived here actually, 21 years and a month. And I know all my neighbours and they're all fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And we have had kids on the street who are noisy or bang the football against your front door or against your car, or you have to go out and say, hey, bloody stop it in my car with that ball, get away from the car, whatever you have to do. But kids are kids, okay? And, maybe you haven't got children or know of any children. But yeah, you're going to be absolutely fine. Only move should you wish to, because you want somewhere bigger, smaller, or you do want to go and live in Outer Hebrides on your own, and then you'll have no neighbours, and God help you the day that you might need one. Moving on. Okie dokie, dear Auntie Nelly, my boyfriend loves me more than I love him. Okay, we've been together for 14 months now, and I don't feel like I'm in love with him. Surely I would have fallen in love by now. I can go days without texting or ringing him because I don't think of him until he messages me, and then I reply because I'm not rude. Should I be patient to fall in love, or am I wasting my time? Thanks. Sounds to me like you're wasting his fucking time. I mean, there's no time about falling in love with somebody. Some people fall in love very quickly, some people it takes longer, some people don't really know if they've ever been in love, some people don't know whether they want to be in love. It doesn't sound to me like you're even sabotaging this relationship. It sounds to me like you can't really be arsed with it. So you don't think about texting him or ringing him, but if he does you, then you will reply because you're not rude. You should want to reply to that message. You should get them butterflies. You think, I said good morning, or you think, how is he today? I'll message him. You haven't got that connection. You're not in love with this guy. You are wasting his time. He's not wasting your time. You're wasting his time. And I always think it's always better to let them go, because he needs to go and find somebody who will love him like he loves you, and that's not you. And that's not fair, really, to both of you. To either of you, is it? Because you do, obviously, you're waiting to fall in love. You might not. So what you're going to do, write in again in 10 years and say, I've waited 10 years, will it happen next year? No. If you don't feel that you're going to fall in love with him, he's not the person for you. He hasn't got the attributes. He hasn't got what you're looking for. Let him go, because it sounds to me like, he's putting in the effort and you're not. If he's having to text you and you're only texting back not to be rude, he's the one making the effort. Relationships don't work when it's only half-hearted anyway. But I think it is very, very important when you're in a relationship. We can't actually measure, like, he loves me more than I love him. Well, how do you know? We can't measure that, can we? We'll never know the answer to that. But it's all about actions. And if your actions and not wanting to act in a way where you're in love with this person, then yeah, let him go, because it's not fair. It's not fair to him. And it's much better now where you're not going to be hurt because you're not really that asked. But if he is going to be hurt and he's going to feel really offended by it or upset by it, then let him hurt now sooner rather than later, then it won't hurt as much. And I hope that makes sense. And I'd say to anybody out there that's questioning whether they love the partner, you know, you need to find what it is about this partner that's, you know, either offending you, upsetting you, or has it gone from being madly in love to not in love to just loving? Or do you think you love them but you're not sure? You know, communicate with your partner. Where do they want to go? What do they see happening in your life? What is in this connection? Where do they see this connection going? But yeah, it's we've got to let people go and find their own happiness, because it doesn't sound to me like you are his actual happiness. You may be now short term, but this is just recipe for disaster if you stay in this relationship. Yeah? Moving on. Dear Auntie Nelly, my daughter is 12. Oh, and she thinks she is amazing at singing. She sings all the time and will sing to anyone who will listen. She's always struggled to sing in tune, but now she is using some kind of singing app and records herself. And then she posts it to social media. It's just awful and painful to listen to. She's a very confident kid and often likes to tell people how brilliant she is at things, even when she's not. Should I just carry on blissfully ignorant, or find a way to tell her it's awful? So you've got a 12-year-old kid here who loves singing, and she'll sing all day, every day, and she'll sing to anybody who'll listen. And she's downloaded a little app that like she can sing to, and then she's showing people her singing, and the mum's going, it's painful to listen to. Do you know how many parents out there would love for the kid to be so confident and have a passion for a hobby, to not actually be sat on their phones and playing these fucking stupid games they play? She's singing. She's doing fuck all wrong. She's singing. Yes, she might not be Whitney Houston. I mean, we'll never see another Whitney Houston in our lifetime, but she's a baby. Do you really think Mariah Carey sang fantastically at 12? Maybe she did. But if she's got a big passion for a hobby that she's taken up, rather than thinking she's absolutely awful, how do I tell her? Why don't you get her some fucking singing lessons? Why don't you say to her, listen, child of mine, why don't we get you some singing lessons? You absolutely love singing, don't you? Even the best fucking singers out there have voice coaches still, to this day, because they need to keep, you know, improving the voice. Your voice changes over time. I can smash windows of my singing, but it don't make me stop singing. Don't make that little girl stop singing. Don't let her, don't take away her voice in any fucking way. Why? Just because you don't like it? There is a singer that sells out fucking arenas left, right and centre. Whenever he comes on the radio, I have to switch it off because I can't fucking listen to his voice. It knocks me sick. But that doesn't mean to say some fucker else won't like it. He sells out arenas. I'm not willing to disclose his name, but I can't stand him. Can't stand him. So you might not think she's the best singer, but the fact that she's confident, you've obviously done something right as a parent and made her grow up with this confidence that she can sing, she wants people to listen to her. Oh, I can do that, I'm good at that. She might not be able to, but the fact that she thinks she does, that's brilliant. So kudos to you there as a parent. But don't fucking stop her singing. Get her some singing lessons. Who knows where that may go? It may go fucking nowhere. But at least she's got a hobby and she's doing something that she enjoys. Now, my daughter, who's going to be 26 in October, she is the most beautiful girl I have ever seen in my whole life. Am I being biased? Yeah, probably, because she's my baby girl. But I never pushed her onto the fucking catwalk and said, because you are the most beautiful girl in the world, you're going to be fucking walking down the catwalk for Giorgio Armani. It's not about channeling them in a sense of where you know they're going to fail. It's not about that. Sally Eubank, It's not about that. It's really not about that. It's about you going, do you know what? She loves singing, bless her. I'll get her some singing lessons. But what is wrong with doing that as a parent? Nothing. Support your child no matter what they want to do. Unless it's robbing or jumping off fucking broken down buildings, whatever it may be. But there's absolutely nothing that you need to be doing here. It's not even a problem. Let her sing on the app, let her share her singing, God bless her, and get her a singing teacher. You know, I think it's fantastic that she's found something that she right likes doing. Does it fucking matter? Like I said, there's people out there who are selling out arenas and they can't fucking hold a note. Or when they do sing, I go, my ears. So yeah, she might not be your cup of tea, but I'm sure to God she'll be mine because she's a 12-year-old girl putting all she can into it. Fucking good luck to her, I say. And if nothing comes of it, what's it matter? What's it matter? Encourage your children in every way. You know, if your child comes home and says, Mum, I want to start learning guitar lessons, get him a fucking guitar lesson. You know, I want to be a ballerina. When I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a ballerina. And I still love the ballet to this day. And I go to the ballet. And the Nutcracker is my favourite ballet, along with Swan Lake. And I just fucking love the ballet. I can talk about the ballet for 24 hours and more because I love the ballet and I always wanted to be a ballerina. And my mum said when I was little, I don't think you should have ballet lessons, Antonella, because, you know, you're not the right shape. And my mum wasn't being cruel, but she was thinking, she's not going to manage and I'd hate for her to get hurt. So we knew why Mum was saying that, whereas my dad turned round and said, right, we're going down Accrington, we're getting you a tutu and some tights and some ballet shoes, and you're starting ballet lessons. And I remember saying to my dad, my mum says I can't be a ballet dancer because I'm chubby, and my dad said, so at Roly Polies, and they sell out arenas in Blackpool. If you want to fucking do ballet, you're doing ballet. It never went any further than a few lessons and I loved it and I still got a love for the ballet. But it doesn't matter. Don't pigeonhole that child just because it's not your cup of tea, okay? And I don't understand how you're not sat there like we a lighter in front room going, sing to me, my darling girl, sing to me. Because you've made her, she's your creation, and every word out of her mouth, whether she speaks it or sings it, she's talking to you, let her sing to you. I'd be saying, sing your fucking heart out. Don't fucking give a shit who's listening. You enjoy it, flower. So there you go. So I hope that's been okay. Right. Dear Antonelli, I'm in a right mess. Like, I've been dating a divorced man for 3 years and I've only just learnt that he's still married. Oh, Christ almighty. Wait a minute, where are we going with this now? Right, okay. So I've been dating a divorced man for 3 years and I've just learned he's still married. I found this out because my sister-in-law is his daughter's gymnast teacher. I found out he also has a child. He says he lied because I confronted him and he said he lied because he's separated from his wife and that if he said he was still married, I wouldn't want to date him. Should I push him to get a divorce or make him move in with me and out to the family home, which he says is only there because he can't afford to get his own place? What should I do? Right, shall we just rephrase this? Shall we rephrase this? Like, let me look. And so I have been dating a man who has lived a lie successfully for 3 years. Oh, what a good liar he is. I've just found out that he's been deceiving me and his family. His behaviour has shown me that he is untrustworthy. But I'm emotionally involved with him now. And on a planet of billions of fucking men, it's obviously impossible for you to find one that is single and honest. Yeah? So please help me find the excuse here that would make it okay for you to continue to date a deceitful man. I really need you to rationalise what I've just said. Okay, so you say you've been dating a divorced man, you found out he's married, you found out he has a daughter, and that's only because your sister-in-law run into him, and that's how you found out. So he's living in the family home because he can't afford to leave. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You have been dating a man who has lived a successful life for 3 fucking years. How good of a liar is he? Do you really want to continue in a relationship with a deceitful, lying cheat? I'm waiting for your answer. I'm waiting for your answer because I shouldn't need to tell you anything else. Should I? My big red fucking flag here, I'm like going into the ring here. He never told you that he had a daughter for 3 years. Couldn't give a fuck really about his living arrangements or how you found out or the fact he's married, he's not married, he's cheating. He never told you that he had a daughter for 3 fucking years. He hid his own offspring from you. That is not the only thing he has decided to hide. And you found out and now he's making excuses and now you're questioning, maybe I should make him move in with me or push for a divorce. Sweetheart, you are the side dish and you've been the side dish for 3 years. Know your fucking worth. Unless you're the main course, you should not be letting anybody eat at your fucking table. Fuck him off. Hashtag off you fuck. Hashtag bye Felicia. Don't even sit him at that kitchen table. Ain't nobody sitting at my table that I'm only a fucking side dish for. Somebody who denies their child, denies them. Well, I didn't lie to you because I never told you. Fuck off. What else is he going to lie about? What else has he been lying about? Know your worth. Take back your power. You have no control over his divorce, his living arrangements, his parenting decisions, his marriage. But you do have control over who you allow to sit at your table in your life. And you tell him, you've been deceitful to me for 3 years. I'm sorry, as much as it hurts me because I do have an emotional connection with you. I know my worth. And this will never work out between you, even if he left his wife tomorrow and moved in with you. You cannot trust this man. If you've no trust, you've no relationship. This has to stop, and it has to stop now. Take back your power. Know your worth. Have your breakdown relationship crying. Eat the full tub of ice cream. Have the long hot baths. You know, watch the sloppy movies, but come away from this toxic relationship. Auntie Nelly. Who else is he seeing exactly? Could be living a double life. Exactly. I'm a 58-year-old man and for as long as I can remember, I've worn women's underwear, now and again under my clothes. During lockdown, I've been experimenting and now I have decided I want to wear ladies' clothing all the time, including wigs and makeup. I bought women's clothes and now want... Excuse me! Right. I bought women's clothes and makeup, right. I bought women's clothes and now want to go out in public dressed as a woman. My wife doesn't know any of this and I don't want it to affect our relationship. Oh God, it hasn't changed my love or feelings towards her and I am still a heterosexual man who adores and is in love with my wife, but want to live the rest of my life as a woman, as this is what makes me happy. Any suggestions how I break this to my wife and my work colleagues? I need my life to start now. Oh, fuck a fucking duck. Fuck me pink. Christ on a bike and Mary on fucking handlebars. So you're still in love with your wife, you still want to be married to your wife, you don't want anything to change in your relationship, but you do need to know that you've been living a lie and you're not 100% happy because you want to identify now as female by wearing female's clothes and you want to start going to work as a female and you want her to start living with you as a female even though you're still her husband. She has every right to say no to that. She has every right to say, I don't feel comfortable with that. When I married you, you were a man and I am in love with you because you are a man. How is this going to change? You know, what will happen? Are we going to sit down for Sunday roast and we're both wearing a, you know, a right nice twin set with some pearl earrings? You know, I commend you and I do applaud you for saying, do you know what, I've lived a lie long enough, I'm not happy, this is who I really am. And to step into your power and want to actually stand up and say, I'm sorry, but this is what's going to make me happy. Life is short, tomorrow's promised to nobody, but we've got to tread a little bit carefully here for your wife. She doesn't deserve this to be a sledgehammer approach. So please, please, please do not be sat settee when she comes home from shopping and you're dressing all your finery. That's not the way to break it. The way to break it would be that you do hashtag sit at the kitchen table and you tell her exactly what you've told me and you say, listen, I love you so fucking much. You are my wife. I'm in love with you. You know, I love everything we have, but I need to tell you something and it's really important for me. You know, I've been experimenting for as long as I can remember. I've been wearing panties and tights under my clothes or whatever. How she doesn't know, I don't know. But during lockdown, you know, I really, you know, had to assess things in my life and I've not been happy. And it's something that I started exploring and now I've decided that that's who I really am. How do you feel about that? And that's what you need to ask her. You know, you need to tell her. So very plainly, bullet point it, tell her, and then you need to ask her how she feels. Immediately she'll be shocked. Immediately she might burst into tears, she might be upset, she might ask if you're gay. There's lots of things she's going to come out with. She might ask you if you've ever been with a man. You know, you've got to make it clear to her that you are a heterosexual man. You don't want to live in a lesbian relationship. You know, she's going to ask you lots and lots of questions like, you know, well, show me your wardrobe then because can I borrow some of it? Whatever, but the sooner you do it, the better. Now, I certainly wouldn't be telling your work colleagues unless you sorted your home life out first. Because if you do proceed with this and decide that that's something you're going to go with, you're going to need all the support of your friends and family. And I think your wife is paramount here. You need to tell her immediately. The sooner the better. It's not going to be an easy conversation, but conversations like this never are. And she's going to have a lot of questions. So please be patient with her. And if she does stand up and throw a cup and get in the car and go for a drive for 2 hours, let her do that. Let her vent how she has, because this is going to be a massive shock if she has no idea. She might turn around and say, oh, for God's sake, I'm glad you've told me because I've known about it for years. We don't know. But the sooner you tell her, the better. On the flip side to that, she may say, well, I'm really sorry and I'm really happy for you. Really, really happy for you. And you do need to live your best life and you do need to be who you are. You know, you've got to do that for you. Life's for the living. And if that's what makes you happy, I love you and I want you to be happy. But I don't want to be any part of that. So you've also got to be ready in maybe this will end your marriage. And you've got to understand that. But once again, once you open that can of worms, you can't go back on it. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't open that can of worms. You've got to be happy with yourself and you've got to make the best out of your life. And if that means that you want to live every day as a lady, then you crack on. But it's not going to be simple. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of T's to cross, a lot of I's to dot. And she may not accept this. So please don't keep the secret. Please proceed and tell your wife first and take it from there. Well, flower pots, that's been Sunday service. Have you enjoyed it? Give me a like, give me a love, give me a share. Let me know where you're watching me from. Let me know what you're doing for your Valentine's Day. Let me know who you're spending it with. And if you're not spending Valentine's Day with anybody, you're spending it with yourself. Love yourself today, because if you don't love you, how can you love anybody else? If anybody comments on this live with Auntie Nelly giveaway, competition, you've won a prize, whatever it may be, it will be fake, so report it, don't rise to it, because the fake scammers out there love jumping on my lives and telling you you've won things when you haven't. So there we go. So that's been Sunday service. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And if you do anything today, just love yourself. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you've been watching me from. And I'll see you all very, very soon.